Peace. Welcome to another episode of the Parry where we don't pull or duck no punches. And the Parry is fundamental to boxing. I'm your host, Bomani UFG.
And I am the pragmatic Che Black.
And just want to welcome everybody on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram to the Parry where hardcore boxing fans come and link up. You know what it is. Che Blicky, what's good with you?
Same fight, different round, man. We back at it. Another weekend of some action-packed boxing. One of our top prospects that we talked about coming into this year. Had his first world championship fight. Now that the WBO was being considered a world title, a world championship. It's still a dubious, bogus belt to me. I ain't gonna lie, but that's a whole nother story. However, though, he is recognized amongst his peers and in boxing as a world champion now after that win. And it was a spectacular win. It was definitely some controversy, some drama before the fight, with the whole watermelon and bananas.
Hey, yo. Yeah, that's crazy. But, yo, we gonna get into all of that. We just have some there was a fight yesterday, man. Barbosa versus Catterall. You know what I'm saying? Barbosa edged Catterall in a decision. You know what I mean? In a pretty good fight. I knew that was gonna be a decent fight, man. And there was some pretty good fights on this undercard before we get to Keyshawn and the whole main event. But first, let me just remind everybody to please jab that like button, uppercut that subscribe button, go ahead and lead hook that share button, and throw a combination at the notification bell so you can stay updated when we drop new content. And if you're watching us on Instagram or on Facebook, man, please follow us or subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is at the Parry 101 in your search engine. It should pop up. You see that logo in the upper right hand part of your screen. That's us. You know what I mean? Come on and subscribe to the #1 boxing channel on YouTube. But yeah, on the undercard though, we had your man Jared Big Baby Anderson. He defeated Marius Calais by unanimous decision, and he didn't look too good in that fight, man. Did you get a chance to check that one out?
No, actually, I missed that one. I just seen the highlights of the fight, which looked pretty lackluster.
Ever since he got my man Bacoli put the mitts on him, man, he ain't look the same. He was a highly touted heavyweight prospect contender that people was thinking he was going to be one of the next up as far as American heavyweights goes. And I mean, he won the fight, but he didn't look that good to me. Also, you had the brother of Keyshawn Davis. You had Keon Davis. He defeat Ira Johnson by TKO in the second round. And one also in this guy Rohan Polanco. He defeat Jean Carlos Torres by TKO in the second round. That kid Rohan looked like he's going to be a problem. We also had our prospect of the year, Abdullah Mason. We can start right here, man. Abdullah Mason, he defeated Manuel James by TKO in the fourth round. This kid Abdullah Mason just continues to just look like the real deal. He sat in the pocket, digging body shots, dropped them like 3-4 times. The kid got defense, power, ring generalship. He seems poised in there. He looks like he's just levels above of all the competition he's been in the ring so far, man. Talk to me about Abdullah Mason in his last fight.
Well, in his last fight with Cabrera, he wants all the smoke. He's undefeated, 20 years old. That was definitely a blistering TKO. In the fourth round, he's making his name for himself, showing himself to be the top prospect in boxing right now. I can't really say much about his competition. I didn't really know much about Giovanni Cabrera. But I do.
That was his last fight. He fought Jaime's.
I mean, pardon me. I mean Manuel. My bad. He fought. What's my man Manuel?
Jaime's.
What's his last name? How you say his last name?
Jaime's.
Yeah. I always want to say Jamie when I see it. You know what I mean? Jaime's. Yeah, that's right. That was the 4 round of Jaime. Pardon me, I was getting the 2 fights confused real quick. But yeah, that was a destructive blowout. He's doing everything you ask a prospect. Neither fighter, though, did I know anything really much of went in there to fight him. You know. He says he wants all the smoke. That's his own quote. You know, at 135 pounds, he seems to be a serious threat, and he continues to get better.
I think this kid is definitely a future superstar in the sport. Big fan of Abdullah Mason. Yeah, so he destroyed James. You had Juanmita Lopez de Jesus. Try saying that real fast 3 times. He defeated Brian Santiago by TKO in the first round. And another in the main event or the main card, you had Vito Melnicki versus Connor Coyle. I thought Melnicki had like a 12-fight win streak. He's from Jersey. Melnicki, I thought like it was a good fight. Connor Coyle, I think he's Irish if I'm not mistaken. He fought hard. Like it wasn't an easy fight. It was a very highly entertaining fight. But I thought Melnicki won the fight, but it turned out to be a majority draw. They gave Melnicki, he won on 1 card, but I thought he won the fight. I will say it was borderline robbery. I mean, the kid clearly won in my eyes. I didn't think it was a draw. I thought the rounds were close. I thought the rounds were close, but Melnicki, like I thought he edged him out, especially later on in the fight. But as boxing goes, sometimes a lot of drama. That may be a rematch somewhere in the mix. I think this kid is at middleweight now, moved up to middleweight. Melnicki did, and I thought he fought well, man. I thought he won the fight. It was a highly entertaining fight, to say the least, man. Did you get a chance to peep that one?
No, I didn't either. I only got to see the. I only got to see the main fights basically that we're discussing.
Got you. In the co-main, the highly touted standout prospect, now contender, Xander Zayas, from Puerto Rico. Shout out to all my Boricuas out there. Xander Zayas put a beating on Slawa Spoma, who's trained by Roy Jones Jr. That was a like as you would say, Blicky, it was a back alley mugging. I mean, this kid Zayas continues to impress. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, Zayas continues to impress. I thought he showed all the tools in there, man. He just walked this kid down and beat him up, stopping him in the 9th round. But he called out after the fight. He calls out, pretty much. Actually, during the pre-fight, I guess he was interviewed by one of them ESPN dudes. I forgot one of them bias. Yeah, never mind. And he was saying he was asking him where he placed himself amongst the 154 pounders. He put himself at the top. Terrence Crawford. What's my man name? The Russian dude. We bad with pronunciations over here on the Parry, man. So you gotta excuse us. Man, forget it. I can't even pronounce my man's name. I gotta go. I can't even pronounce his name. But the Russian champion, I believe he's the IBF champ. And Fundora, and he called out Sebastian Fundora for a fight. I think he's now the number 1 contender for one of them titles, and he thinks he's better than all the other champions at 154, just based off his off that performance. I mean, he looked good against this kid Spoma, but and again he continues to impress. The kid got all the tools, man. I just don't think he got enough pop to really deal with some of the champions. Maybe Fundora will probably be the lowest hanging fruit out the bunch, which is probably why he called out Fundora as opposed to a Terrence Crawford or Maldanayev or whatever. I can't, man, I'm bad with this dude's name. Um, so I don't think he beats Crawford or the Russian. Maybe he has Fundora. Maybe. I don't know. But this kid is definitely up there. He deserves a title shot. I just don't know if he's ready to become champion. Looking at the champions in that division. The 154 is starting to heat up.
Yeah, the junior middleweight division is definitely a division to look out for now, especially with Crawford's arrival. Even though his arrival is really just a pit stop to move even further up to go on and face Canelo. But just the fact that his presence in that division alone brings some excitement over there to that division. As far as Zayas goes, I think that Puerto Rico has a budding star, possibly. Puerto Rico, whenever they have a good fighter who has the potential to be great, they really rally behind them and have a way of even almost pushing some of their stars into superstar status. We've seen Felix Trinidad, who, the kid, I guess he had a good smile or whatever, but he really didn't have that it factor as far as superstar quality, but he had that in the ring. When you watched him fight, you looked at someone who was literally born to be a fighter, and he has such a cult fan base. Same with Miguel Cotto. We're talking cult fan bases. And I think that he's fighting out of Florida, Puerto Rican. I think that they might have another star in their hands. I definitely don't think that he's ready for the top dogs at 154 pounds, though. I don't think that he's actually shown that. I think a fight with Fundora would actually be more, so as you mentioned, it was low hanging fruit. I think that would just be more in his lane, something, towards his ascension, a fight where he can win a title, have some leverage now as a champion to say I'm now one of the guys at this division to beat. As of right now, though, he's still up and coming, but that would be a great fight. Him and Fundora would be, I think, for him, would be the best route for him. But I still think he's another fight or two away from being an actual championship fight.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking about the legacy of great Puerto Rican fighters. They do have a fan base that kind of sends them into like this different stratosphere as far as fame and stardom is concerned. Miguel Cotto will probably be in the last one. You had Miguel Cotto, like you said, Felix Trinidad before him. You had the Wilfredo Gomez's of the world, the Wilfredo Benitez.
Gomez,
right. These guys, these guys was superstars, and I think Wilfredo Gomez in his day was probably the biggest star in the sport at the time. And he was one of the pound for pound best fighters. So it's yet to be seen where this kid goes as far as how far his talent takes him.
Wilfredo Rivera, even at featherweight, he might not have had the coat, but even at featherweight, he was able to gain some success. He just wasn't as good in the ring as these other fighters. See, one of the key things is being good in the ring.
Right. I think the key for this kid, keep winning impressively. Puerto Rico, particularly that whole Latino fan base in general, was going to support you and get behind you once they love you. So Miguel Cotto was an icon, probably still is an icon over there in Puerto Rico. So they love their boxing, they love their fighters, and he got all the tools. The kid can fight. You know what I'm saying? Pause. He's good looking. You know what I'm saying? Handsome kid, and he got all the tools to become a big star in that and really capture that fan base as far as Puerto Ricans and Latino fans are concerned, man. But I really like this kid. I just think that right now the top of the food chain in that division might be too much for him, but that's yet to be seen. But we'll see how him and Fundora works out if that happens. Unless you also got Errol Spence getting into the mix. He's trying to get into that mix at 154, and I don't know what's going on with him and that Fundora fight, but if Errol Spence gets in the mix, Errol Spence fight versus Xander Zayas, that could be tough. It'll be a good fight, man. I definitely I'm tuning in. I got
That
my eye
could
on
be a
this
good
kid.
fight.
Yeah, I got my eye on this
That could
kid,
be a
man.
good fight, but I don't think that that's a fight. I'm gonna be honest with you. For for Errol Spence to lose that fight would show how much damage he really took in the Spence fight. Would say that he's a completely ruined fighter, which
You mean
there's a
Crawford?
very big possibility he took in that Spence took in the Crawford fight. Yes, there's a very big possibility that this is true. It's a high possibility that Spence is a ruined fighter. However, a fight would if he fights Zayas is not ready for that. This is he's not ready for that type of a veteran. No, it's so many things that Errol Spence could present Desires that I don't think Desires will be ready for. He needs a Fundora before he faces someone like a Spence. He needs to fight a world champion before he fights a great world champion as in Spence. Because regardless of how Spence looked in his last fight, Spence is great. He is a great fighter and his resume shows greatness. He has a great
Absolutely.
resume.
Right.
And to go in there with that type of fighter, nah, he's not. He's
Well,
not ready. You need fight. You need experience before you go in up to that level. It's like when you play. Remember Kung Fu, and you sweeping the little snakes and little guys coming with the purple uniform. You kick them out the way, and then at the end of each board is this boss, and then after that, and you go. There's levels to this. He got some more snakes. He got to sweep. You know what I'm saying? Before he
yeah.
gets to that level.
That was my game too. I came for Kung Fu on the Tender was my game. We showing our age right now. But yeah, I mean,
Of course.
I will say though, just to kind of stay on this topic real quick.
Mm-hmm.
If considering that Spence has been off now, we talking what 2 years, right? He let him and Derek James are no longer a partnership. We don't know. I don't know. At least I haven't heard who his new trainer is. If he even found a new trainer, maybe this was taking so long. Maybe he's just trying to find the right home for himself and his skills and find the right trainer that could take him to that next level. But considering that it could be 2.5 years before we see Errol Spence in the ring again, you don't think that a fighter that's hot right now, coming up, making his name in a division he's already fighting in, this is Errol Spence, and he's moving to 154. You don't think a fighter like Zayas could probably get the best of him, considering the long layoff, the ring rust, new weight class, new trainer? You don't think that this might be the right time for a fighter to try to, make his name off the back of Errol Spence?
When you're a good fighter, maybe. When you're great, like I'm Professor Nat, Spence is his memory, even on an off night, he should be able to pull it off, even if he doesn't look as the Spence that we think he should look like or as impressive as he should look. He should be able to, just off of his ring generalship and ability, be able to maneuver around that ring and control the fight better than Zayas.
That's fair.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Zayas is not a fight or two away from a fight like that. You put him in with a Fundora. You put him in with was Majanov, what's his dude name? But you put him in with one of these top guys at the 154-pound division. And
I will say
we
Zayas
see
versus
from there.
Madrimov is intriguing. Zayas versus Madrimov is an intriguing fight. I actually like that. I actually like that card, man. Like I said last show, man. Listen, hire my man Shay Black, man. You know what I mean? He can make some fight cards and make some events happen for over there on Riyadh season. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I like that. Madrimov versus Zayas. I think that'll be a pretty good fight, and it will be a good, what's the word, gauge to see where Zayas is at this point in his career. If he could be the top level fighter like Madrimov, who ironically Zayas have more professional fights than Madrimov does at this point. But you know,
Not
Madrimov having that.
Madrimov. It's not Madrimov. Martellazov.
That's
It's
the dude. That's the IBF champ. Nah, I don't think Zayas ain't ready for him.
Yeah.
That dude is a machine, man.
Yeah, pardon.
That dude is a machine, bro. That dude is an absolute machine, bro. I don't know. I'm saying Madrimov because that's what you said. I'm thinking Madrimov will be a.
Yeah, I know what I said. I'm the one who messed it up. I know. I said Madrimov.
I think Madrimov will be a.
But then I had to think. I was like, nah, Madrimov will be a good test. But I knew that there was somebody else we was thinking about with the IBF. I knew that the IBF champion would be, and that's Bakram Mortazov. Mazel
that
tov.
guy. Yeah, that guy, man.
Yeah.
Bakram.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mortazov.
Yeah. No disrespect to, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect.
Nah, man, I'm getting tired of these Eastern European fighters, man. You know, I'm getting tired of them with these multi-consonant clustered names popping up. You can't even pronounce the shit. Like, it's not my fault, man. Pardon my language, but it's not my fault, man.
Listen, we doing the best we can at pronunciations over here. I'm pretty decent with the Spanish names, the Eastern European names that got like 15 consonants in it. You know, it's a little tough right there when you got like 18 syllables and all that you got to get through to pronounce the name, bro. So, but no disrespect. No disrespect. He's my man Bakram, he's a hell of a fighter, man. The dude can really punch. He's a machine, and he's definitely a threat at 154 for anybody. But moving on. In the main event, we had Denys Berinchyk versus Keyshawn Davis. And Keyshawn Davis put on a spectacular, when I say a spectacular performance. Getting a TKO in the 4th round, becoming the new WBO champion. Delivered a nasty body shot. He dropped him, I think, prior to that with a body shot. Finished him off with a body shot. And I'm going to go ahead and say it, man. This kid is a future superstar for one. And I'm watching this fight, and I know Bo Mack is in his corner. He kind of reminds me of Bud, man. He got a Bud Crawford style to him. He's mean like Terrence. He has the ability. Good. Yep, say it.
I was just agreeing with you. I'm just saying he definitely has that meanness like Terrence. I'm just agreeing with you as you talking. What's that? You know, I'm doing the ad lib.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Keyshawn Davis is one of my favorite fighters, especially young fighters coming up. I think he's a future superstar. I think he's a future pound for pound. I think he's a threat to anybody that's in and around that division. This kid is the real deal. Shout out Norfolk, Virginia. Y'all got one. Y'all got another one.
7 cities in the building. Norfolk, y'all got another one.
Y'all got another one. This kid is a problem, and he packed the Garden. He had the Garden. He had New Yorkers shouting Norfolk. I mean, I'm pretty sure Norfolk was in the building. Let's be clear. But
Norfolk was in the building. But what, that was the theater though? That was the theater though.
That's the theater, but still, like, you got to give this kid credit, man. This is only, his 12th, 13th fight? He's already a world champion, 13, I think.
He started talking about selling out the Garden.
A lot of people don't get into the main building, man. A lot of people don't get into the main arena, bro. Let's just be clear. Like, that's...
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. That's the Garden, though.
You got to give credit.
That's the Garden. Let's not. That's the Garden, though.
It's still in the same building, man. Don't.
I'm not commending what the brother did. No. One is called the theater. You know what I mean? One is called the theater at Madison Square Garden. At Madison Square Garden. The other one is called the Garden, B. It's called Madison Square Garden. You know what I mean?
It's still the theater in the Garden, man. All right, at the Garden. It's still the same building.
I'm just saying.
You just give listen, man. I'm just trying to give my man his due love, props, and respect. Keyshawn, the businessman. I'm not trying to take
no props from him. I wasn't trying to take no props from businessman.
He's from Norfolk, Virginia, man. Packing the theater at the Garden, all right? let's be specific if you want to do that, man. He's from Norfolk, Virginia, coming up to my city. You know what I'm saying? New York, man, big city of dreams. You know what I'm saying? He came up there, packed the building, put on the show, stopped the guy who, you know, he was asking for it, man. My man came and delivered like watermelons and bananas, pause, to his room on some whole racist. Yo, boxing is getting mad racist, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother show. But
boxing has always had this undertone when it came to the clashes of cultures. Boxing, you know, you got De La. I remember in the '90s, De La Hoya, before he fought Pernell, said, "Yo, Black Fighters ain't got no heart." Pernell said, "Yo, man, he ain't fought none of the brothers. Yo, he ain't fought no good brothers." You know what I mean? What he said, brothers ain't got no heart. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this ain't new.
I mean, like, in regards to, you know, like a lot, especially like, all right, these dudes are, see, back then they'll say little things. I'm not saying boxing has always been racist and always been about race and nationality. Let's be clear. Like, I'm not confused on that. What I'm saying is, I like in today's climate, with social media and things, you got Ryan Garcia going, you know, on X, talking crazy, like crazy. Get that boy a white sheet in the Klan hood, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Teofimo out here, he calling fighters monkeys, and like it's getting crazy. Like fam, it's getting crazy.
Let's see a theme with the Teofimo thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not as bothered by him calling a couple of the boxers monkeys, you know, especially knowing he got to face these monkeys. It's not like, you know, like he got to, you know, so it's like, he got to hop in the ring with these monkeys. So you gonna call him? That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I don't think that he'll even fare all that good. You know what I mean? Overall, on a personal level. You know what I mean? Listen, but I don't know. That Parry thing was a little bit blown out of proportion a little bit. I think we blew it out of proportion. I think we was being a little sensitive with that one, man.
Listen, man, I didn't want to do this, man, but
oh man, here you go with something. But, oh wait a minute, I can do this too now.
Yeah, on that take, man. Listen, we gotta boo that one, man. Here at the Parry, man. Listen, man, we not here at the Parry. We don't condone the calling of black fighters monkeys. All right. I'm not saying you are, man, but I'm not. We're not doing that. It wasn't blown out of proportion, man. Teofimo definitely know what he was saying and doing. I will say this though, and this is not in defense of Teofimo or even trying to make excuses for the kid. I will say this though. Mm-hmm. I think initially he didn't know what he was doing. Like, this is just my opinion. I think initially he's not that bright. He's not bright enough to understand the context. Hold on. This is what I'm saying. Hold on. The connotation and the context of which he was saying it, I don't think he understood exactly what he was saying. But once it became, you know, you had black media, you know, certain channels that was really highlighting it and highlighting the comments and making an issue of it, and also pointing out the racism in the comment, I think then he took it with it to use that for some clout. Now, do I think he's racist? I mean, yeah, personally. Yeah, I do. But I don't think he's as bright enough to Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay. I think he's a racist.
I'm not about to say he is. I'm just saying, you think Teofimo Lopez is a racist?
Yes. I think Ryan Garcia, or should I say they have racist opinions and views. You know, we know what, listen, we ain't gonna get on to.
Everybody who's not black has some type of racist opinion or view somewhere buried inside them.
Right. But these dudes are now bold enough to say it. Ryan Garcia is a definite racist. I think he, like, you know, he's a half a step from joining the Klan. If they allow Mexicans in, he's joining. You know what I'm saying? So, with Berinchyk, initially them saying that they had no knowledge of them delivering the watermelons and the bananas and with the little note.
Oh, no, they racist.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
Ukrainian. They from Ukrainian. Ukrainian is the birthplace of racism. Like racism was born in Ukrainian. Like that's where the Caucasus Mountains is somewhere over there. You know what I'm saying? The first remains of a racist bone was excavated in Ukraine somewhere.
in Ukraine. Well, I
So
think
I'm sure he was racist.
Nah, for sure. And then it came out later that Keyshawn's team got to look at the video footage of security footage, and the person delivering the box looks like somebody from Berincyk's team. Now, did Berinchyk say that he wanted this to happen? Who knows? Maybe
Nah,
somebody
man,
on
that's
his
on
team took it
Berinchyk,
upon
man.
themselves. You
See,
gotta
now
put it on the
you
low.
go tap dancing.
Nah,
Now
no,
you tap dancing because a minute ago, nah, man.
I'm tap dancing right now.
A little bit, man. You are, man. Look,
all right,
all right. What time it was, man. Did you see the look on his face in the press conference? He wouldn't even look at the brother. He turned around and looked at his man like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Mishka. Basically saying, I don't, whatever this nigga saying, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I seen that, man.
In all fairness, because you said I was tap dancing, I got to...
You're booing yourself, right?
Yeah, that was for me. That was for me. That was for me, man. You know what I mean? But cool. I was just saying, somebody could have took it upon themselves to do it. I don't know, but I'm gonna throw him in the box too. Yeah, I'm gonna throw him right in the same bag.
Exactly.
Throw him right in the same bag.
But he knew word got back to him and he laughed about it. If what you saying is the case, word got back to him like, yeah, I put banana in watermelon and leave it at his door. You know what I'm saying? Word got back to him and they all laughed about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, but this is the state of boxing right now that we in, man. Like cats are going so far to make a name to promote the fight as to fall with that. But it's only, I just feel like right now it's all one sided. Where's Bernard with the throwing the beans? Like this is crazy.
Yeah, we need a Bernard right now. But we don't see. And I'm looking in the comments. I'm seeing it's like this, man. I don't when fight our fighters. I'm seeing comments like fight our fighters, and I'm guessing that means like Keyshawn fight the Mexicans. When has brothers not faced Mexicans to be great? When has brothers not faced now Mexicans when it comes to lightweight all the way to middleweight have always been a problem. There's great Mexican legends, and in order to be great, you have to have a couple of them on your resume. So when I see comments like "fight our fighters," clowns, like I'm a little, it's humorous to me because who's ducking any Mexicans? Man, look, Mayweather took over your damn holiday, coming out with the sombrero. Come on, man. What are you talking about? Fight our fighters. Look what happens. Pernell Whitaker. Come on, fight our fighters. We've been fighting your fighters and busting their ass. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he did bust their ass.
No. Fight our fighters. Fight our fighters, man. Huh? Who ducked Chavez? Who ducked Fernando Vargas? Who ducked Oscar De La Hoya? Who? Come on, bruh. Come on, Manito, Papito. Relax, B.
Let him cook. I'm gonna let you cook, man. Go ahead.
I'm chilling. I'm done. I'm just seeing. I'm like, yo, the fight our fighters. When haven't we? When?
I mean, people forget that Floyd Mayweather made a whole career out of beating Mexicans.
On a Mexican holiday.
Yeah, whooping you. Like, fight our fighters. Who we talking about specifically? Who specifically, like the pragmatic want to ask, like, who's ducking Mexican fighters other than Mexicans? Like, Go
Y'all need
bring
to
that
fight y'all
same energy
fighters.
to Canelo. Yeah. Like who's
Y'all
ducking
need to
Mexican
fight
fighters?
y'all fighters. Y'all
Like, let's
scared to
be
fight
clear.
each other.
That's true. He said Duarte and Barboza at 140 beat Keyshawn and Shakur. Oh, here we go. I mean, that's yet to be seen. I mean, it did Duarte, didn't he get stopped by he got stopped by Ryan Garcia, man. Like you think Tank well, let's be clear, Che. Like, you know what I mean? Let's take the gloves off for 1 second. Particularly now, we're from the East Coast, right? We're from the East Coast. Particularly in New York, our relationship with Latinos, but particularly Mexicans, is different from the rest of the U.S. demographic when it comes to Black and Mexicans relations. You know what I'm saying? So, and then this is coming from a New Yorker where, like, I've known some cool Mexicans, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying like we was homeboys, you know what I mean? Nothing like that. But I've known some pretty cool Mexicans or Mexicans that seemed to, like they was cool. But outside of New York City, and when I say outside, I'm talking about like Jersey. All right, I'm talking about Connecticut. I'm talking about anywhere outside of New York when it comes to Mexicans and Black. I mean, we do understand Mexicans are racist as hell, man. Let's just be clear. So, and when you talk about boxing, right? When you're talking about boxing in particular, a lot of Mexican boxing fans are not real boxing fans. They're using boxing to highlight or sometimes even hide their racism. You know what I'm saying? It's like anybody that, and I get it, boxing is a nationalistic sport. I'm always going for the Black guy. Even when he's the underdog, I'm going for the Black guy. I could think he's going to lose, but I'm rooting for the Black guy all the time, 100% of the time. Right? I'm rooting for the Black guy. So let's be clear. Nationalism in boxing is normal and it's natural. However, Mexicans, though, or particularly non-Black fight fans, they always going against the Black guy. See, it's one thing to just be going for your own, but a Mexican guy will be rooting for the white guy in the white and Black fight. They want the Black guy to lose 100% of the time.
Is this true Mexican boxing #1? I don't know if you still here. You might have tried to dip in and dip out with that BS, but go ahead, brother.
I mean, but let's be clear. This is the nature of boxing, and a lot of like I watch a lot of different boxing YouTube channels, and I like to go through the comments, and you can always tell a Mexican or the Latino. No disrespect to my Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about like the South, the Central Americans,
Guatemala,
Latinos,
Ecuadorian.
Them guys.
Y'all niggas.
When I when I go through the comments, it's easy to tell who's a Mexican. They always going against us, man. They hate us. And maybe because they hate us because we made careers out of whooping y'all ass. Now, I ain't even trying to get them. This ain't what the show is about, and this ain't what the Parry's about. But at the same time, we Black men on here.
And but we don't duck. Also, no
smoke
punch
at all. This is the Parry. You came to the right place, man. What's my man name? What's my
Mexican
man name?
Boxing #1. Mexican boxing #1.
With the American flag in the background too, though, on your little.
He's Mexican American. He's Mexican American.
Yeah, it's cool, but he's talking crazy right now, man. Listen, man. But you're always welcome to come back and share your racist views in our chat, man. It's all right because we here for it. You know what I'm saying? But back to Keyshawn. Let's leave this guy alone. Let's leave this alone. Back to Keyshawn, man. I'm gonna make sure I clip this though. I'm clipping this. I'm putting this out. You know what I'm saying? Like catch note. Like we
ain't that Chico.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, Keyshawn, dealt with this racist the way he needed to. Stopped him with a body shot, 4th round. Like I said, I think this kid is one of the future faces of boxing. And he's probably like right now, other than Bud, my favorite fighter to watch. I'm not saying like he's better than this guy, that guy. I'm just saying like I have my favorites, fighters that I like to watch, and Keyshawn is slowly climbing up my list. He's rapidly climbing my list as one of my favorite fighters to watch, man. So definitely props to Keyshawn, the businessman Davis, and DB3, that whole movement he got going on. Shout out Norfolk, Virginia. But what's next for him? What's next for Keyshawn, man? Where should he go next?
I mean, the division is wide open. You know, you have.
You breaking up, fam? You breaking up?
I said, how am I? Am I good? Am I back? Am I
Oh
good?
yeah, you good now? Yep, you good.
You know, the division is wide open for Keyshawn right now. You know, I wouldn't write out a fight with him and Davis, with him and the other Davis.
Tank.
You know, with him and Tank. Of course, a fight with him and Shakur is extremely intriguing. I don't know how big it would be in the box office. You know, this was a good sign of him in the theater selling out the Garden in the theater. That was a good sign. I don't know how box office that fight is. I think that fight will probably need to mature a little bit more, but that's an extremely intriguing fight right there. And you know, there's also the other champions in the division, Lomachenko. We know that Devin Haney has moved up, and I believe he's talking about going all the way up to welterweight, but and he's still in that range, and a big fight for him is still, you know, we'll see how he does with his rematch, if that even comes off with Garcia. You know, there's even Garcia. The division is wide open, you know, for him right now. Lomachenko, who's on the sidelines right now, but
Teofimo.
you know, he should. Teofimo, we spoke about Teofimo. Pitbull Cruz, you know, who's looking for a strong win to get himself back in the contention, you know, would be a good fight. You know, there's a lot of good fights for him. There's a lot of good fights for him right now that he could pick from. He's in a very talent rich division, and with what he has showed, I think that he gives anyone in the division a problem. I think, to me, the absolute most intriguing, and this isn't so much what's next, but this is an absolute, the most intriguing is him and Shakur. I believe him and Shakur is the most intriguing fight that could be made, and I like Shakur in that fight.
I'm gonna
Right now,
bring up another. I'm gonna bring up another matchup that you spoke about. Potential matchup. Keyshawn versus Pitbull Cruz. Now I'm gonna make a bold prediction if that fight was to ever happen. Keyshawn is stopping him.
most
Yeah,
likely,
he's stopping
most
him.
likely.
And this dude got a chin made of granite. Shout out to Pitbull Cruz because his last fight was amazing. Fight of the year so far. But yeah, the businessman, he's stopping that kid. He's stopping him. He's doing something Tank couldn't do. And he's stopping that kid. I promise you, he's stopping Pitbull. His fight style, he's just too mean. He's too vicious. Yeah, I like his punch selection. I like his defense, and he got that Terrence Crawford in him. I'm telling you,
What I
with Bo
really
Mack
am
in his corner,
impressed.
Bo Mack is going to teach this kid how to stop this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Go
What,
ahead.
what I'm really impressed by is he has this ability. I remember he fought Tienda, and he dropped him with this short chopping right hand, and it just was so short, and it didn't even seem like it should have had the force and power it had behind him. But it was one of those 30 short shots, and it reminded me of it reminded me of young Diego Corrales, you know, with being able with that, just it was just such a short shot, and the way it dropped him and hurt, it really hurt this guy. So I was really impressed by that. The one thing I will say is, though, I think that he needs to incorporate some more head movement, some more side to side movement, and just some lateral movement all around. I think that he is a very offensive minded fighter, and he's so offensive minded that defense kind of suffers. He reminds me of a young Felix Trinidad who had a very explosive offensive arsenal, and because it was such a he was such a offensive focused fighter, defense suffered in some aspects.
Yeah.
Even a young Mosley suffered from that.
I thought in this last fight, this Berinchyk fight, he showed a nice skill set. his ability to slip a lot of the punches, but still stay in range to counter. I like his he mixes up his defense between slipping and parrying and catching shots. Like this kid, the the more he develops, the scarier he's going to become. And I think it's going to be him, the Shakors, and these guys are going to be at the top of the sport, moving forward. Um, but I will say, another fight, Keyshawn Davis, man. Go ahead and deal with Andy Cruz, man. Go ahead and avenge that Olympic loss, man. This kid Andy Cruz calling him, he's saying he a daddy and all of this. He's talking crazy. This team businessman over here, man. We gonna have to go ahead and deal with that, man. Go ahead and deal with the Cuban. And I like Andy Cruz. That kid he's skilled. But the man you fought in the Olympics, the kid you fought in the Olympics, and the man he is now, totally different monsters. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. And this I'm talking to directly to Keyshawn Davis right now, brother. Damn, see that the light went out on him. Don't even wet that. You where he want to be. He beat you in the Olympics. But you where he want to be. You understand? Y'all was boys then. Y'all men now. You know what I'm saying? You a champion now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't fight this boy. What I'm saying is he needs to see you at this stage in y'all careers. And when y'all do fight, because I do believe it will take place, because he does need some adjusting. He does need some correcting, some straightening with all that mess he's been popping. So I understand how you may feel. When y'all do fight, though, it's going to be completely reminiscent of when Riddick Bowe fought Jorge Gonzalez, who had beat him as an amateur and talked all that same crap, Cuban kid, and I think it was within 2 rounds he completely obliterated that kid. I'm pretty sure it will be very reminiscent of Jorge Gonzalez when he stepped in the ring and faced Riddick Bowe as a professional.
Well, let me take a hold on 1 second. Let me just take a pause for the calls real quick. Yeah, just a reminder to go ahead and jab that like button, uppercut that subscribe button, lead hook that share button, and throw a combination at the notification bell so you can stay updated when we drop new content. And follow us on Instagram at the Parry 101, on X at the Parry 101, and on TikTok at the.parry.101. Follow us on all social media platforms. Definitely hit that subscribe button right here on YouTube and help us out. And please go ahead and jab that like button. It brings the notoriety. It puts us in the algorithm. You know what I mean? Trying to get out there, man. We're approaching 1,000 subs, man. Let's go. But yeah, man, Keyshawn Davis destroys Berinchyk. Any other news we want to get to, man, before we get up out of here?
Well, our girl who, a friend of the Parry. Well, I'm going to call her a friend of the Parry, but we're a friend of hers. Clarissa Shields testing positive for marijuana recently after her last fight. Her team hasn't really responded to the allegations saying whether that was the case or not. However, they have defended her and are attacking the Michigan Commission of Testing or whatever that, So, there is that going on. And then, right after I hear about this, I turn around and look and I see images popping up of Tank Davis. Looks like he's puffing a joint somewhere, hanging out. So I thought that was comical. I don't know what is going to be the consequence for testing positive in Michigan. I know when Mike Tyson tested positive for marijuana against his fight with Andrew Galata, I believe they reversed the win to a no contest. So I'm curious of how that will be. being that this was a unification bout. She is now the undisputed champion, a 3-division undisputed champion. That was the fight that made her that. So I don't know if anything will be overturned or what, but I do know that Michigan has stated, or the Michigan Athletic Commission has stated, that she tested positive for marijuana.
All right.
It might have been some kind. You might have caught a contact hanging with Pat Pooch. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you what it seemed like to me. I think it was traces of, the THC or whatever. Like, she wasn't burning it down. You know what I mean? She was clearly around. Well, I believe she was around some people who was burning it. It is what it is, man. At the end of the day, is weed. But before, Rick Glazer, for those who know who Rick Glazer is, he's on X. I don't want to give him too much shine, but he's one of these bogus bonehead boxing reporters at times. And I mean, he got his sources, and sometimes he'd be on point. But he reported that she tested positive for PEDs.
Yeah.
Yo, Rick Glazer, you's a clown for that, bro. You's a clown for that, bro. And I think she's suing your ass, and I hope she win, because that's some clown-ish to do before you get all your facts checked. You put out there that she tested positive for PEDs when it was just weed.
Because he wanted her to test positive. He wanted her to test positive. Rick Glazer use a BAN.
Word up, man.
Use a BAN for that.
Yo, shout out to the GWOAT over here at the Parry. We love you. We support you.
We love you.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We ain't turning our backs on the GWOAT right there. Now, that was foul, and I hope she sued the ish or out of you, man. Rick Glazer, you was a bonehead for that, bro. Like, that was whack. That was whack, man. And on that note, man, any closing remarks or words you want to say, Jay Black?
Nah, that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it. I wanted to speak on that right there.
Yeah,
congratulations to Keyshawn Davis, first world champion, and I expect many more titles to come your way, brother. I expect many more championship fights to come your way, brother.
Nah, absolutely, man. Shout out Keyshawn Davis. Congratulations, you know what I'm saying, from the Parry. Hopefully we get you on the show one day. You know what I'm saying? When you got time for us, the real ones over here. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, thanks everybody for tuning in on, the realest. Thanks for everybody for tuning in on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Once again, remember to jab that like button, uppercut that subscribe button, lead hook that share button, and throw a combination at the notification bell so you can stay updated when we drop new content. And this is the Parry, where we don't pull, duck no punches. I am your host, Bomani UFG.
I am the pragmatic Jay Black.
And you know what it is. We out of here. Till next time. Peace.
Actually, now we're going to show you how to catch the jab. Actually, in boxing, it's called parrying.